Within each and every role player lives this homeless character who wants nothing more than to quiet the heartbeat of every living thing that stands in his way. Today we celebrate this all too familiar character with...
Well now, looky here. It's the Murder Hobo Show.
Was relatively nice, and that's when we'd go out to Leavenworth and with my brother and everything, and a couple places where we get a pool and whatnot. So yeah, it was always pretty nice weather. So
well, that's really sweet, Jay. That's really splendid.
You're really sweet.
Thanks, pal.
And really splendid.
All right. Well, we've been on air for about 10 seconds, maybe more.
That's what I figured.
Welcome to the Murder Hobo RPG Show, episode 43, aptly entitled Super Shizzle. Recorded September 1st, 2021. I am one of your hosts, Gary, a.k.a. the Murder Hobo, and I am here with Uncle J. Raz, a.k.a. Crapton Cole. I can never get that right, but fuck it. Better known as by his superhero monikers as Pop Man, the Flaming Rectum, or Super Saggy Balls.
That's pretty funny. But here's a little tune for you. This is who I'm co-hosting with. No, Fat Man. No. You remember that from the Batman show?
Yeah, why are you calling me fat and hurting my feelings?
Yeah, that's a little stiff. It's
right?
A little stiff, but but see, here's the thing too, man. Because I'm fat, we can call each other fat, and nobody else can.
No, it's like black people using the N-word, right? Fat people use the F word.
I wasn't even going to say that, dude. I was just talking about fat people. I'm not going to generalize what black people.
Why are you
I'm not going to
Why are you so racist all of a sudden?
You're the racist one. So racist.
I turned my airplane.
Clan Gary. No, just kidding, folks. Gary loves everybody. Well, at least the women. He loves every. He's an equal opportunity, like sexual, pest or whatever they call you in England.
I hate white people. I can tell you that much.
I do. Me too. I can tell you that much, man. White people, worst thing on this planet.
Right? Dregs of society or dredges? Which one is it? Do you know?
Yep. Derelicts. Yeah, dregs or either one, man.
Wow.
Well, the judges will accept both.
Okay, fantastic. This is a podcast about role-playing games because we dig them all. And like a couple of schoolgirls giggling over their latest crushes, we are going to do the same. Maybe I should probably rewrite that bit, hey? And we're going to BS our way through this in an attempt to sound like we know what we're talking about. And we don't care if we're wrong, so fucking suck it, John Marlin.
Suck it, John Marlin. We are an RPG entertainment podcast, and although you might occasionally be able to glimpse a nugget of truth or inspiration from our many years of gaming experience, we promise to you it will be unintentional. Also, please note we stream this podcast live on Twitch and convert it to podcast format. You can check us out every second Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Unless something happens, then it will be another time, and we'll let you know when that happens or not. So just stay tuned. Just tune in every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Either we'll be here or we'll not be here.
Right.
And Gary will throw up some. If we're not doing this, Gary will throw up some cool map that he did, or some other cool video that you threw up or whatever.
So what you're saying is now I have to be here every Wednesday, and you're off what? Getting blizzards at Dairy Queen?
Ooh, that sounds good. Actually, I had a blizzard the other day, man. I have one in years. And it was the weirdest kind. It was like a frosted cookie one. It was, you've seen those frosted cookies in like the supermarket. They just stuck them in the blender. There you go. Here's your delicious blizzard, sir.
And on a scale of 1 to delicious, it was.
Yeah, I would give it a solid 7. It might have been a little too sweet, and that's all. It just contained the frosted cookie. I'd tell you what the best blizzard though is, since I don't eat chocolate, so it's really subjective. I really like the Hawaiian blizzard. If they can make one of those, man, that's usually my favorite. That's usually got the pineapple coconut, and I think they'll even throw in some pecans for good measure in there.
Wow. So it's not like ham and pineapple like a Hawaiian pizza.
Would you eat a ham? I bet you would. You totally put some ham chunks in there while you're at it.
Are you kidding me? I'd be all over that. I'd be like, sign my fat ass up. Let's get her done. Right? Put a little pizza sauce in there, some ham and pineapple.
Just all our food, it's all going to end up, the same color anyway. So it all should just be blended up into something, something else. Like just throw your eggs in your coffee and just blend all that up and
right.
Just drink that while you're working. Make everything efficient. I imagine that's where food's going to go.
I start every meal with the mantra, I'm going to turn you into poo.
I do it. Make it a challenge.
That's right. Tonight's show, we're going to talk about Peg Inc.'s first kick at the crowdfunding scheme using their own website. It's actually pretty cool. ICRPG Master Edition. I managed to get my greedy little bits on something that I can't show you, but I did take a peek through it, and hot damn. And we're also going to touch on community questions, I think. Maybe. I doubt it. We're going to start fucking rambling about some bullshit, and it's just going to be like...
Honestly, I want this to be the chance for me to take like a deep speculation into what we're going to see with the new Superpowers companion, because this is something I've been waiting on for a while, ever since I've been playing Savage Worlds. I started playing Savage Worlds like 4 years ago, and played Deluxe, and that was just fine. But we've been sitting on because when did Sway kickstart, Gary? It was October of
3 years ago.
October 2018. Yeah, so we've been sitting on Sway here for a little while, because we at least got I think we all got the PDFs, the ones who kickstarted it. We got those in December. So yeah, they've been sitting on so going on 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
We've been waiting for some hot companion action, and this is our first glimpse into it. And since Supers is, decidedly my favorite genre out of the RPG, in our RPG hobby, I wanted to be able to give this a chance and just me kind of like speculating as to what they've done, what's going to be new and everything like that too. So glad that. And also, too, you've been getting into the Supers a little bit too, like as far as you've been checking out Necessary Evil, as far as like reading the audio books from Pinnacle, right?
Man, the audible books from Pinnacle are actually really good. I think they're put out by Sound Booth. I think that's the name of the place. But you can get them for $2, man. It's $2 for an hour's worth of entertainment. You just sit there and listen to like a really great story. And the best part about them is I love the friggin' names, like Dr. Destruction, and they have all these like Lady Spider Widow stuff. And, it's pretty sweet. But
they do a really good job with it. I want to say that was all a lot of those guys. Well, I think that was Clint Black and Paul Wiggy Williams. They I think they named a bunch of those characters, and they were just like all kind of based on those Silver Age guys, man, like Doctor Doom and Sinestro and guys like that.
I just think that the Necessary Evil line, they're going to come out with a third one, because there's two parts already. But I think it's the cat's ass, man. Like they've got sort of the best idea for, as far as I'm concerned. Like this is of course my opinion, but I think it's the best one out of all of them, simply because you get to play the bad guys. Like you're actually playing the bad guys that are good guys. So you know what I mean? The aliens show up, they make a mess of things, kill all the good superheroes, and the only superheroes that are left are the bad ones. And you play one of those. So it adds to this bit of moral, your character has these moral dilemmas, I guess. He could be a superpower, could rule the world himself, kind of a thing, but at the same time he's got these really powerful aliens he's got to deal with, which I think is just fantastic. Anyways, I did read the Necessary Evil stuff, and I do think it's top notch. The Visori and stuff like that. I'd love to play some of that stuff. Somebody's got to get on that, Tommy Brunel, fucking guy.
Well, that's I'm hoping to, like, as soon as I get done with as soon as Riffs my in-person Riffs game wraps up, that's what I hope I'm going to dovetail in, is to Necessary Evil. It's, man, and by that time too, hopefully we'll talk about this a little bit later, but hopefully the pawns will be out, and maybe the maps and everything by that time. All the physical stuff in this Kickstarter will be out. So yeah, I'm really excited about it.
How is the personal game going?
We haven't played, and I want to say the last time it's been about a month since we played. I want to say it was the 8th was the last time we played, and then I was out of town the weekend we were going to play, so it just everything worked out. So it's been about close to a month. I reduced the number of players just because I didn't want so many people in the damn house. We had six people playing. I only got 4 people playing now, and that's including my wife. So I only have 3 people coming in from the house. I just didn't want that many people coming in with the spikes and all the with the nasty shit going on. I just figured, better be safe than sorry.
So
Did that.
how does the process of removing 2 people from your house go?
I just told the dude, and I already talked about removing from my house. They weren't actually in my house, but it's just like as far as removing the game though, I just told them a message and was like, hey, I don't feel comfortable with having too many people in my house while all this stuff's going on. So, maybe down the road I'll add some more people to it. But right now I just only want a few people in my house. So simple as that. That's all you got to do. Just be honest.
And so you're just like, that's what I'm getting at. How did you choose which ones went? They were the suckiest RPGers. They peed on your carpet. Like,
it was all at random.
Is that's your story and you're sticking to it?
No, and actually, yeah, that's the story that I'm sticking to. And also too, like the furthest distance. The furthest travel time.
Oh, okay. So that was how you sort of figured it out.
Yeah, that's the story I'm sticking to.
Man, I would just kick out the one, the biggest mouth breather. Right?
Right. Not biggest mouth breather, the biggest whatever. Like whoever you can't vibe with, man.
There was a guy a couple of years ago that I trained with. I didn't train with him. I trained him in my jobs there. And he shows up this one day. He's got all the experience of the world. He's telling me about his, myriad years of work or employment in the same field. Comes to work the next day wearing the same fucking shirt that he wore the day before. We're talking middle of summer, 30 some odd degrees in an old truck that had no AC. That was my first day with this guy. 10 hours we worked that day. He shows up the next day wearing the same shirt. It had those like white crystalline salt sweat marks on it still from the day before. And this day was even hotter. So this is the, like we are like driving around Vancouver and I don't have air conditioning. It's 34 degrees and I have been smelling sweaty, salty, stinky BO pit guy for going on 6 to 7 hours right now. It got to the point where not only did I get a headache from smelling this guy so much, I started to feel nauseous. I had to stick my head out the window like a dog just to get fresh air. It was brutal. And I never said anything to the guy, but let me tell you, I should have. Like, I think an honest conversation with that fella would have been in order.
Right. Yeah.
Man, first one to go, the one that smells the worst.
Usually, yeah, that's usually about it, man. There's usually a reason. That's a good little story. Got to tell more of those. You will. Don't worry.
I'm sure I will. All right.
Awesome.
Well, you know what? Let's get on with the show. First of all, I got to find out where my deal is over here because I got something blocking it. I think it's this one, Jay.
I think you got it.
All right. We're going to start this section off with Jay. Jay's going to take over. Talk a little SPC, Superpowers Companion. I was before we get started on this one. Peg on Peg Inc.'s Twitch channel did a little deal with Mr. Landauer, and he was talking about their website and some of the problems that they were having and some of the issues. All of it was to be expected. Nobody was fucking surprised that their website took a shit. You know what I mean? It wasn't. I didn't go on till I think 6 o'clock that night because I was working all day yesterday, maybe even later, and I had no problems. But you know that initial pop is going to be problematic at some point, right? So, good for Pinnacle for setting that up. But here's the thing that I was going to get at because I know you're going to start talking, and then this is going to be the end of the show before we know it. I have been bitching and complaining about the fucking 3 years we've had to wait to get the Superpowers Companion, which I think is absolute bullshit. But man, Landauer smoothed me over. He's converted me back to being fully in love with Pinnacle. Do you know what he said?
What did he say?
Said a very wise thing. The reason that it's taken so long is because, at least according to him, and I think this is absolute genius, they needed to get out their premier setting, which is Deadlands. Right? it's Deadlands overrides the Superpowers companion as far as priority goes. They have other projects like ETU and Rifts and all of those other things that are their high-selling, high-priority projects, and those take precedence over the Superpowers because even though Necessary Evil is their IP, it's one of the lesser IPs. Like Deadlands is massive; it's been around forever, so of course it's going to take precedence. And I'm like, damn girl, that makes total sense. So yeah, I'm gonna take back every bad thing I said about having to wait 3 years about the Superpowers companion, and now I'm just solely gonna bitch about the fantasy companion and the horror companion.
You go. That makes total sense too if you think about it. Like, and remember when we had Roberson on, and he was talking about how the Suede books for Risk were sort of the culmination of what these guys had been dealing with the deluxe version, and they took a lot of. And it was Hensley saying, "Hey, well, this is what we're going to incorporate in Rifts." And it's funny too. I keep on forgetting how much like a hand that Shane Hensley, Hensley himself actually has in like Rifts. But I mean, he's there. He gets his hands dirty just like everybody else too. And so he's all, he's got a lot of input. And so they wanted Deadlands and Rifts. They've really put a lot of money into because these are the big like money grabbers. And I ain't gonna lie, Rifts is what drew me into Savage Worlds.
Mm-hmm. Not me, but
Rifts and Deadlands both too.
It's damn good.
And then the Superpowers companion, when I got into that was like, okay, it was sort of like come in for the Deadlands and stay for the Supers because I really like, I was looking for something a simpler way to run Supers that wasn't completely narrative, and this is like exactly what I was looking for as far as super companion or a super setting and a super rule set goes. You there?
Oh, yes. There we go. Sorry, Jay.
Okay. No problem.
You can see my mouth moving, but you can't hear me speak. You can see that I brought it up on the Twitch stream. It's now got our two ugly mugs and the right monitor with the Superpowers companion. This is the Swag, the pinnacle site that you're going to see if you get after it. We got a nice little title here with I don't know. I guess that's supposed to be Aquaman, the shittiest superhero on the planet that they made a movie about.
I want to say, man, if I remember correctly, in fact, I want to say a lot of these folks here, or maybe it's either possible villains that they've taken from the Rose Gallery because I'm familiar. Like this guy, the dinosaur guy, that's T-Rex. He's actually featured in the old or the second edition of the Superpowers companion. And
how cool would it be if T-Rex had short arms?
Well, look how big his legs are. His arms are a little bit shorter, but they're not super short.
He's got full-length human arms.
Like ineffective arms.
Yeah, that's what I want. Like arms that are the size of nipples. Maybe just hands sticking.
I just want his little claws. Then he'd be the worst superhero. I mean, he'd bite you but he'd have to chase you around first. And
man, what if he had
this guy's a little more
little guns?
A little scarier.
He got little guns where his hand nipples would be. Pew pew pew.
Little guns. Now we're talking missile launchers.
That'd be sweet if you had little tiny T-Rex arms. Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah. Anyways, that's pretty sweet. The artwork for this was done by Mr. Kiesler himself, my man, my main squeeze, my sugar buns, Carl Kiesler. I'm just kidding. I don't really know Carl that well. We just did the Wild Eye podcast together for a little bit, but Carl seems like a sweetheart. He seems like a nice guy. He didn't try.
He's up. Yeah, I've heard nobody say anything bad about him. So and he's always getting it done too, man. So.
You've never listened to Eric, then? Just kidding.
It's like, yeah, that guy's too good. I hate him.
Right? That's exactly what Lamoureux says. So, what do we got going on here? I guess we're just going to start scrolling through this. Can you frickin' believe? And I'm curious because I haven't actually had a chance to talk to Eric. I was pretty busy today, and I wasn't really sort of coherent in the chat. I want to know what his thoughts are on the $41,070 that they made, because I think he was thinking that they weren't going to get that high, that because they didn't do this on Kickstarter, they weren't going to sort of rake in the dollar bills, yo. You know what I mean?
I don't know if he said that they weren't going to get this high. I don't think. I think he was saying that they would have gotten higher with Kickstarter.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, and I mean, I think he was going on to say something about how, like, well, Kickstarter, you have a bigger presence, you have a bigger audience, because I mean, even if you're not like deep up, deep in the Savage Worlds, you still can get alerted with, a lot of their emails, and there's their whole email infrastructure and everything like that too. So it's a good platform to have, because I mean, just the social net that they, that they have. But Pinnacle, they have a pretty dedicated group of core fans, and so they were like, well, I think this was more or less a testament to them, the people that will really follow Pinnacle and the people that really want to, back this product, that they were able to do something like this. They were able to sort of cut out the third party, crowdfunding, with Kickstarter, or they've used what's the other one they've used? They use Game on Tabletop for like Flash Gordon and ETU, and now they're just like, okay, we're going to go ahead and try our hand at it. And let's be real here, it was wonky when it first started. Like, here I was, it was it was supposed to launch at, it was 9 our time, 9 a.m. So that's 12 Eastern. And like, here comes 12, or here comes 9. And we're like, all right, 9:10, 9:15. I'm like, all right, where's the shit? Where's the shit? I'm ready to throw my money at it. And and then finally, I think they posted that they had a delay going on, and then finally, I think it was like at 9:30. You were able to like preview what was going on, but it was pretty difficult that first day being able, or I'd say not. It ironed out like later on in the day, but I want to say the first couple hours it was a little difficult to pledge. But I think they got it all sorted out, and everything looks to be smooth. And
yeah, I didn't touch it till 6, and it was fine at 6. I got on, I checked it all out, I scrolled up and down, looked at some things, and made my pledge. I went all in because I'm, $30 for paper minis and I signed me up all day long.
Same here. And the thing about it is too, if you really think about it, they're at 41 grand, and there's not really a super high price point. $75. I mean, that's the top. That's the highest price point they have, and that's what's got the most backers right now, according to the site.
So I don't really. $75 is a lot of fucking money. We were paying $10 for the Superpowers Companion. Granted, that's just for a little softback. You can get the companion, I think most places, the old deluxe PDF for $10. 75 is 7 times more. I realize that you're getting a sheet of cardboard with some art on it and stuff like that. But the what was the old deluxe one? Was the deluxe one was 150 pages, and then they came out with number 2 was 90 or something?
Deluxe was 98 pages, and it was $20.
Right. And so now we're capping 75. That's a big jump in price. I don't want to say that it's not worth it, or that's an exorbitant amount of money, because this is 2021, and you know what I'm saying? But I still feel like $75 is a lot of money.
Well, let me see here. I'm just making I see where you're coming from, but I mean, this is hardcover while the other one wasn't. So hardcover is gonna the price, because they're not making softcover books anymore. Everything's going to be in this hardcover. If you look at your Deadlands stuff and you look at your Rift stuff, they're not going that softcover route anymore, man. What's that?
To be honest with you, I'd like to look at it, but it's stuck in the fucking States.
That's right, man. I mean, well, you at least got your Deadlands stuff, didn't you? Or did you get any physical stuff with Deadlands?
Yes, but I mostly play online because of Corona, so I haven't even taken the shrink wrap off the boxes.
So you haven't even played? Yeah, I take all my stuff and just like I roll around with it and get
rub it on your nips, get some mail on it.
Yep.
That's what the plastic's for. Keep the grease stains off.
Get all my stank on it, so that way everybody knows it's mine. Shoot. Well, I had a train spot here.
Back to what I was saying. The 70.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the $75 is a lot of money, but the thing is I don't want to say that it's not worth it. That was sort of not really what I was getting at. I'm just saying that's pretty. That's $2021. I'm guessing. I see Indigo Dragons, like he says, the book itself is $45 in hardcover, which I think for a companion is pretty steep. You can buy a D&D book for $60, I think. Sometimes you get them on sale, but they're generally like Canadian, $60 Canadian or something like that. So
I imagine it's going to come. I imagine down the road it's going to be $30, and it is bigger. It is almost twice the size of the deluxe version. This one's 192 pages, especially now that they've added in some of the they've actually broken one of their early or their first stretch goal. So yeah, it's 192 pages, so it's almost double the other one. The other one was like 98 pages.
Mm.
So you're getting double the content.
Yeah.
You know, so if you think about it like that. And I think that's what they're really trying to do. Is I think they're just, the thing with Pinnacle right now is that they're really trying to knock off like this indie, like, welfare, like, for lack of a better term, like presentation that they have, with having the paperback books and everything. Don't get me wrong, I actually like the paperback books, but I can see where people like don't take them as seriously as some of the hard, unless it's hardbound. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that's an indie RPG. Whack whack. They got their mom to print that. And with her,
No, I kind of feel the same way with that. The same way with the $10 deluxe book that we had forever. If when you start reading it and you realize what a good game it is at its core and how much it has to offer and how unique it is with the exploding dice and the wound system as opposed to attrition systems and other systems that just use other things, it is a hell of a good damn book, man, and especially for $10. So I'm happy for Pinnacle that they're sort of moving into the big leagues. I think is at a $75 and a $45 hardback. You know what I'm getting at there. I'm gonna scroll down here. So go ahead.
You pay for prestige, man. I'm just saying, you pay for prestige. I mean, you can keep on going the route, and I'm sure it's fine. You go the route where everything's the trade paperback style, and that's all fine and good, man. But I mean, you if you want to look like $1 million, you got to dress like $1 million.
Yep, I like that. It says like a gorgeous new layout by fan favorite Carl Kiesler. I'll be looking forward to partying on Carl's yacht when he gets paid for the work on this bad boy. What did Ben Flores, Unique, So Perry, I don't know, Wayne Miller, and more. So what work have they done? I know I've seen Ben Flores work before, but what's it on? Do you know anything off the top of your head?
Well, let me see here. Well, that's what I'm taking a look at. Is I'm looking at the DeviantArt page, and I'm just seeing if he's done. Oh, so he did a lot of, like, if you look at his DeviantArt page, he did a lot of the character art for the Suede rulebook. Like, he did that one, like, you can see the one picture of the dude that looks like, like the picture of Gabe and Red that they have all spattered throughout, like, the Suede book. So he did some of the artwork for that. So he's done some regular artwork for Pinnacle before.
All right, let's have a look and see. Because I've got it
the other people.
Because we have the ability.
Yes. You can ask a question and then type in that question into a magic witch box, and it'll tell you exactly.
It's the beauty of the. Oh, look at all the artwork that he's done. Look at all the sci-fi or superhero stuff that this guy's ripped off. All new X-Men. They picked the right guy for the job. He's done quite a bit of cool-looking superheroes work.
Yep. Same thing with Unique Safari.
Yeah, so they're all like superhero artists. So they got the right crew for the right job then.
Yep.
$25 for the digital. So everything digital's $25. That's pretty sweet. Just the book, print and PDF, and print digital stretch goals. So just the book is $45. Just the book, print and PDF reward level. So you get the book and the PDF?
Yep.
And then what is everything print and PDF? Oh yeah, because that's right. So just the book is obviously just the book, and the everything package gives you the minis and shit like that. So that's why now I got the deal. So it's a $30 difference for cardboard minis.
Also, too, like, I think that they're also factoring the price for like the little cards too, because I don't think that the book itself is $45. I think like that's even more expensive than the Suede rules are. No, even though I think they're the same content too. I think they're both 192 pages, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Not maybe Suede's a little bit bigger. I'm not 100% sure. But anyway. No, I mean, that's a big book, man. I mean, that's the thing too. It's a sizable companion, and I'm actually glad to see the companions that the other ones were a little bit skinny, so now we're getting some like it's a good sign that we're getting some meaty companions, man. We're getting the double burger companion, blah blah blah. You know what I'm talking about?
The
double
double
eating Whopper pizza crap.
Wow, why do you got to get all stiff on me?
Just get your attention. I'm just trying to get your attention.
New character options, edges, and hindrances. New and updated gear like absorption shields and capes. A host of weapons for your heroes and villains to bash each other with, and vehicles to get your super team where they need to go in style.
I imagine we're going to get some weapons that are like they introduced the gyrojet rockets that in the old Superpowers companion, which are like, okay, you want to, all right, so this is what a regular missile would do. All right, this is what a bullet this is a superhero killer. This is this can it's a heavy weapon. It's essentially a bullet that's a heavy weapon that can do mega damage. Well, I'd say a heavy weapon in non-Rift terminology. It will put you on your ass, and I think they do like 3d10 or like even higher damage than that.
Here's a superheroes question for you. Let's say you're playing Superman. He's pretty much invincible. He's bulletproof. You really can't do anything to Superman. How do you take out Superman in an RPG setting?
You play to his weakness. Superman is his heroic. Like that's his number one hindrance, isn't it? Then you like, all right, the villain is like if I can't get Superman, I'm going to start killing these innocents. I'm going to start killing all these people, and like Superman, like I'll just start killing, having the bad guy start taking out these people that are all around, and Superman's got to try to do all this stuff, and he can't do that all at once. And then you essentially you wreck Superman's character. You break Superman mentally because he cannot save everybody. That's how you do it.
Really?
You don't take Superman out physically because you can't.
Can't you just
unless you got kryptonite?
Yeah, blast him with some of that. So in a game when you're playing with a superhero, one of the PCs has that kind of invulnerability. That is how you're saying the go-to is to take him out.
Yeah, Superman is pretty much. It's really difficult to play with a character in a supers game that is that power level. Like unless the understanding is like the enemy is going to do the enemy is a cosmic level enemy, and I'm talking about like a cosmic times 2, like a cosmic god at that point. That's pretty much that's about 20 times the size of you and is going to be able to crush you like that in that sense. So that's going to be the only person you're going to fight. Make the understanding, or you play to the hindrances, and you make it a psychological battle rather than a physical battle. You break the character's spirit rather than you do their body.
All right, cool. Moving on back to the superheroes companion thing. It's one of the weird things that I it's one of the reasons or things that keeps me from playing it. You start getting people want to take all these invulnerabilities and stuff like that, and then you start shooting them because on Earth here mostly we just have bullets. We don't have laser beams and laser guns and stuff like that. So if you want to play any kind of modern game or whatever, you got to bring out the aliens.
It's an arms race. It's an escalation process, man. And it's like if you're playing, it's essentially if you look at the different character levels that they'll have in the Superpowers companion, you have Pope level, which is 15 power points, that you dole out because it's all a point buy system, and it looks like that they're still adhering to that. 15 for the Pope level, which those are guys that are just a little bit better than regular criminals. These are guys you might have that might be able to kick just a little bit better, or like might have like a minor superpower. So you're not going to expect a whole lot of them, and these guys aren't going to save the world more necessarily, concerned with saving their neighborhood.
Gotcha.
Street Fighters gets a little more. That's like you start getting into with the Netflix Marvel stuff. Like that's Luke Cage level powers, and Jessica Jones and Daredevil and Iron Fist, that sort of level. Titans I'd say Titans about that level. Even though they have Superboy, so yeah, Superboy's a little bit tougher than that. But but it's sort of like if you think like gritty superheroes and just like guys that are just more interested in like super criminals as opposed to like super villains, that's about the street level fighters right there. And then they have what do they call it? I think it's 4-color. let me just double check here. Let me look down here.
Okay, well, you're double checking and looking it down there. Indigo Dragon, he said magic will bypass his physical invulnerability, and that just reminded me of a scene from the boys that I really liked. They had the guy that was invulnerable, and they stuffed the bomb up his ass and blew him up from the inside out instead of the outside in.
Right.
That's my jam right there.
And Superman, he's that's why Wonder Woman can fuck him up, because Wonder Woman's powers all generate from magic, and Superman, in fact he's more susceptible, like from a standpoint, he's like more susceptible to magic than somebody else is. So yeah, he's actually got a lot more vulnerabilities than a lot of people don't think. Like, magic's the big one, and and kryptonite, of course. So yeah, all you gotta do is just like hit him with a kryptonite bullet, and he's fine. Just like make kryptonite a little more more available. I mean, if he's got a weakness, if it says a weakness on a sheet, man, use that shit. Just don't use it every time to piss somebody off. But like in a big climactic battle, that's when you want to use it the most. Where
time
where it hurts.
Break out the kryptonite butt plug in the super epic battle.
Right. What was that? Oh shit! I guess it was with Mallrats. I was trying to remember. It was Mallrats when where they were talking about we're like, how would Superman not get Lois Lane pregnant? It's like, you have to use a kryptonite condom or whatever, and all that. I was trying to think, was it Mallrats or whatever movie it was? Because my age, a lot of shit just kind of like runs together.
It's either Mallrats or it's one of the Jay and Silent Bob movies, because it was with them. Number 3's in the process.
Yeah, I heard something like that. I wonder how that's going to be. It's kind of weird though. Like they're doing it like they did Clerks in he did Clerks in his 20s, and he did Clerks 2 in his mid 30s. So now like he's pushing. He's already 50. He turned 50 last year. So this would be about like working clerk in your 50s, which I mean that's pretty sad, man. But you gotta bring home the bacon that way. I salute you.
Yeah. What were you looking up before? You were looking up a thing.
So no, I was looking up to see what they call the 45 power level tier, and they still call it 4-color, just like they used to in the other. Oh no, they call it heavy hitter. So heavy hitter is going to be 0.45, and then cosmic level is 60. If you look, I've actually say in the little Kickstarter page here, or not Kickstarter, but the little crowdfunding page here, they show you a little sample archetype. And in fact, if you click on the guy right here, I actually sent you a little of these, but if you look on the page there and it talks about the Firebird, they're going to include like these little archetypes that come in with it. So this is kind of like your flame guy who can fly around, like Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four. And I don't know, there's several others. There's like there's Fire from the Justice League from back in the day, and there's Firestar from the old Spider-Man and Amazing Friends cartoons. Just somebody who can generate fire, a fire thrower and whatever. And so that's what this archetype is based on. And then I started looking into it a little further, and some things there was something in here that really kind of made me happy. The attributes are just are the same, just like you see in regular Savage World stuff. You go through agility and pace parry and everything like that too. But what I noticed though is instead, like normally in the old deluxe version, if they had a character that was like this, who can essentially fly and like shoot a big attack for a ranged attack from their hands, they would have to use the shooting skill. And I'm like, well, all right, I guess they would use that. I mean, but then again, also too, you give that person a gun, they're going to be that great at shooting. So what back in the deluxe rules, if you think about it like that too, and like, does that really that's kind of like, I don't know, that's kind of like skirting the rules a little bit. If you think about it, just because somebody's really good at like shooting a flame out of their hand doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be able to shoot like an AK-47 very well, or like a sniper rifle. No, it doesn't translate. So it looks like what they've done here is it looks like you get to use the focus skill, which they've taken from what the gifted arcane background and regular core Savage Worlds. I think that's what that is, right?
Oh, okay, I gotcha. So anytime you're going to cast any of your special powers or something like that, you got to blast off on the focus.
Yeah, you're going to use focus, and that's the skill that you want to use too. Like, so it looks like here this Firebird cat. He's got an athletic skill of D10, which I can see why he's got a skill of D10 like that, because you use athletics to fly. Like chases and shit like that. That's that's your number one skill that you use to maneuver. So this guy wants you want him to have a high athletics so he can fly better, because that's going to be his maneuver, his flying maneuver skill, right? And so he's got some common knowledge, he's got some electronics, and he's got a decent fighting, so that way he can punch or whatever. But then I noticed that focus is D12. I'm like, aha, this is how he shoots that flame power, which is pretty sweet. He's got some other, some regular skills, but this is and then I came over here and I started looking at the powers too. So this guy, they gave him they broke him down into they gave him 45 power points here. You can see there if you look at the edges.
Mm-hmm.
They said, so superpower is 45, so that's how I know. So he's in the heavy hitter range. So he's up there. This guy's up there with the the Avengers. This guy could easily be up in the Avengers and the Justice League, sort of tier. And then the cosmic ones, those are, that's Superman level, and like, Green Lantern, those guys that, play juggle planets and shit. But superpowers actually kind of are kind of dope. Like this guy, he's not going to be super tough. I mean, he's tough enough, but he's not going to be, he's not Hulk tough where bullets are going to bounce off him and stuff. No, this guy's, he's able to, he's not going to be able to be hit very easily by ranged attacks. So he's got dodge. He's immune to fire. He can fly pretty fast. So his pace is 48. So he can, he can zip back and forth, across a battle map twice in a turn, but he can only, but the drawback of that is though, if he's trying to attack while flying, he's going to take a -2 to that attack. Now, this is where this cat shines, his ranged attack. He's got it says where, I imagine it says focus right over here. And I imagine it's pointing that out because I want to say if there's, because there's going to be psionic spells or something. Like if you wanted to use psionics for your character, if that's how they generate their spells too, I don't see a problem with that. But I mean, it's got to, it's got to make sense. So I'm going to say that maybe they're going to do that. Maybe, I think with the sorcery, they'll have some, you'll have the spell, you'll use the spell casting spell to generate your attack. But anyway, I'll go back to the ranged attack. This one, it's got the standard range 12, 24, 48, but it does 5d6 worth of damage, and it's got armor piercing of 10. And he may use it in a cone, and it's a heavy weapon, and it's selective. So there's a lot of modifiers put into this fire blast, but it's deadly, and it will screw your day up. And
so, just like the original superheroes or the original companion, this basically means the superpowers 45 that you're looking at means you got 45 points to put into things. Right. So if he's got a range attack, it says 20, so he's put 20 points into his range attack, which gives him all of these things. You're looking at 5 for dodge, 5 for super skill. That means you're up to 30. Flight is 8. That's 38. Super attribute is 2 points, so that puts him at 40. If you add all of those up, does it not come out to 42?
Let's see here. So you got 5. So dodge is 5. Environmental resistance is 3. So that's 8 altogether. Flight is 16. That's 8.
There it is.
Ranged attack is 20.
Yeah, I said 42, but I didn't count the environmental resistance, so it comes out because that 3 is way down at the far end, right? Yeah, so that's 45 points. So then the superhero's companion is going to be built, or you're going to build your supers the same way. 45 points is how you put in, and that's how this guy gets his 5d6, his AP 10, could be a cone. He gets heavy weapon and selective. I'm assuming selective means he can choose his targets, so he can choose not to cone blast innocents.
Right. Correct. Like in that cone blast, friendly targets, or he can skip around them and everything like that too, which is useful, man. Especially when you start playing in one of these proposed settings that they talk about, where they're talking about like more violent ways to do supers, and that's how I actually like to do it, because I mean, I think supers to me, it to me is just people with are superheroes. Let's be real, superheroes and supervillain, man, are crazy people with powers in costumes. And you got to be insane to do a lot of the stuff, either to be that heroic or to be that insane to want to cause that much devastation.
Now this kid here is seasoned, right? Because if you look down at the bottom, he's got 4 advances.
So he's got 4 advances and everything. And what's interesting too is it looks like this edge is carrying over from deluxe over into the suede version, and that's called the best there is because normally you can only put like a third of your points into one attack. So normally, like the most you could put into attack, like right here, if the guys get 45 points, he can only put 15 points into one attack. That's the most you can, unless you have the best there is, which allows you to, spend more points on a power. So that carries over. So that's why this guy has, such a strong ranged attack.
Okay, so that's an edge from the previous companion that allows you just to do extra stuff. I'm going to go back, I think. Close this down and go back. We have some sample villains here, but before we tap on those at 746, I got a question for you about the stretch goals. Now, once we roll down to the stretch goals, the first stretch goal, $7,500. They're going to add the Vasori from Necessary Evil to the Superpowers Companions. Then we go to 10 grand. So for $2,500 more, we're at our second stretch goal. We're going to add in some do-it-yourself VTT for all campaign backers. The next stretch goal is another $2,500. For $12,500, they're going to add in some Architect cards. Another $2,500. You seeing a trend here? $2,500. And then that was the last goal that they had yesterday, a set of 6 street. Now one day later, the fucking next stretch goes $40,000. Why? What happened to 17?
What happened is 20 and 30 and everything like that too. I guess they were just like, well, we already beat those, so let's see. These are the incentives to beat these other ones. And I'm going to be 100% real with you. These aren't $10,000 worth incentives, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they're cool. They're cool. Don't get me wrong. The cards are nice, but it's almost like, fuck it. We were going to make them anyway.
Right.
You're not really getting a whole lot of, I hate to be, let's be real here. These aren't, this is the 40,000 one should have really been like you said, the 1750 and, and so on and so on. Yeah. I think they're really kind of like, I really think they screwed the pooch as far as like setting those stretch goals a little bit off. Like they should have corresponded with like the totals from before, not like a new total that they're trying to set for each day or something. Does that make sense?
For sure. So what I'm thinking is to give Pinnacle the benefit of the doubt, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, maybe they didn't think they were going to do that well with their own personal little page, right? And then all of a sudden they wake up this morning and Hensley's like, fucking start the car, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we made $35,000 or some shit overnight, kind of a thing. So the next stretch goal needs to be 40. But I just find that fucking weird, dude. That's a 25,000K jump when you're doing 2,500. And every one of them now is 10K apart.
And really, honestly, I mean, they're just, like I said, dude, I think they're just cards that they were going to make anyway. So I don't think that it's kind of like, they're a little chintzy. I'm going to be like, these stretch goals are chintzy. I'm going to say it.
To be fair, they've always been chintzy. The stretch goals are never really anything really cool. Right?
Yeah, and you're like, okay, cool, I get them, but like you don't really, I don't know. I think all right, here's the thing: if they get 100K out of this, which hopefully I think that would be fantastic. If they ultimately get 100K, which I mean that's a lot of money that that they didn't have to throw to Kickstarter or Indiegogo or one of the other crowdfunding sites that they were using or used before, and so that's all money that stays in house with Pinnacle and everything. Man, they could stand to, I don't know, be a little more, I don't know. I say that. I don't know how to be generous or, I'm talking out of my ass here a lot of times too there's a lot of different components and I don't have it, I'm not privy to the inner workings of what goes on here and how they do all this stuff, but I'm just saying, I'm like they were going to make the cards anyway. They should already been like, these shouldn't be $40,000 and $50,000 stretch goals. They should be, the 20 and the 30,000, well, like at least the 17 and the $20,000 ones.
Jumping up $5,000 to 20 to 25 to 30. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a big jump, man. And I was like, because I noticed that too when I saw everything. But Man, like, well, if they keep on doing well, and I really hope that they make $100,000 off of this.
Oh, me too. I
I mean,
wish them all
maybe
the
they will.
best for sure.
It would really be cool. I don't know. Maybe they'll top out at 75, maybe 80, but no, I'd like to see them get $100,000. It'd be really sweet. Um,
Okay,
so if you wouldn't mind pulling up those villain archetypes,
already did
I
it,
want to
bud.
show you something.
One step
Well, look
ahead
at
of
you.
you. One step
Look at
ahead of
you.
you.
Now, do you recognize Chainsaw?
Uh,
Chainsaw is a character that Matthew had played in our Resident Evil game. My nephew, Matthew.
when we were at Con on the
Out on the
Cob.
cob.
That's right, with the
3 years
skull
ago when we
mask. 'Cause
first met.
that skull mask, when he takes that off and shows his face, he casts a fear, which
Yep.
was friggin' fantastic. That was awesome.
See, I was looking at this too. I was looking at this archetype, because I'm really intrigued by them because I've actually used both of these characters before as pre-gens, and I've had people play them, Blood Widow and Chainsaw, and I really like kind of what they did with Blood Widow, where she's not. It's interesting too. Like all of her powers are like more like I would have thought that they were like stealth or agility based, kind of like spiders are, but no, they're just out in the front. Like she's more of a social assassin than she is just a straight up like, you know, agile assassin. Like she's got to get in there close and she's got to be able to, sweet talk somebody and then she's able to bite them or whatever. Because I mean, she's not agile, but she's got some moves though. I mean, she can entangle people and she can dodge a little bit. And I was looking up her awareness power or trying to figure out what her awareness power is. I was looking at the old one in the deluxe version, and that says that your hero ignores any and all obscure penalties, or all excrement penalties, darkness, invisibility, whatever, cover penalties, or solid, or just for. Oh yeah, it's just your hero ignores any and all obscurement penalties, so you can pretty much like, um. Oh, and also too, like for another 5 points, you can also like negate any gang up bonus. So maybe that's what it's going to. That's
So,
something that applies to like maybe with this character, like you get to ignore like gang up bonus and anything that their attack penalty or bonuses or whatever. I think that's what that probably applies to.
yeah, how does this work? Awareness, it says ignores 4 points of a foe's attack penalties.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. Like as far as if ignoring 4 points of an attack foe's penalty, of a foe's attack penalties, maybe I don't know. Maybe they're applying. Maybe if somebody like is trying to do a multi attack on you or something like that, and they're using 2 points or something, but that's more or less that's something on them. Yeah, I'll have to like that's something I'll want to read a little bit further into it. I mean, because that's just a little blurb.
Yeah.
That doesn't really explain a whole lot, but like, ignore 4 points of a foe's attack penalties. Yeah, I'm still wrapping my head around it, but no, Blood Widow's pretty dope, man. She can, she'll take a dodge. She's got dodge -2, so she's going to take a -2 to be hit by ranged attacks. I wonder if like here's the thing, like, I wonder if dodge and what's called deflection. I mean, deflection is essentially power. You just don't get hit by ranged attack. Maybe they'll still have that. Maybe it'll be different. I don't know. But now she's got entangle, and I want to say that's why she uses, that's what she's going to use her focus skill for, because she's got a focus of D8, and so maybe she's got to use that to, throw a web at you or something like that. And she's a little tough. She's got a nice little 3d6 attack there. It's not a heavy weapon attack, but then she's got her bite attack too, and that triggers poison. So that's pretty nice, and it's got a deadly and strong. So that means really strong means that it's going to take a -2 to your vigor roll to resist it. And deadly, I want to think like it'll start causing, like if you fail it, it'll cause a wound, and like the wounds get worse, so it'll like kill you after a while.
How long until, speaking of trigger, do you think that image of her with her kind of like the side of her ass hanging out is going to last?
You don't see any cracks, so it's all good.
Oh, is that where we're drawing the line in society now?
Yeah. I'll quit. Oh, you know where it is. You just like stirring the pot.
Fucking superhero man wearing a bikini. They're not a bikini, but a one piece, right? That we can't have that. We can't have this kind of pornography in our society.
Oh, quit it. Quit crying.
Look at Chainsaw, man. He's wearing a fucking onesie, bro.
Yeah, but But he ain't trying to be a, like, look at, here's the thing. I think you're trying to rob Blood Widow of her sexuality. Are you
Oh,
trying to say she's not allowed to be sexy, Gary?
no,
All right
no.
then. Ha, 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 ha.
I'm not. I'm
Did
not
I just,
trying to take anything from anybody. I'm just kind of thinking that there might be some triggered people.
you know what? You're gonna find just as many triggered people as you're gonna find untriggered people, man. Like I'd say go on with life, and just try to do the best job you can, and just try not to purposely offend people. But then again, that's sort of your how you operate in the world. So yeah, I think you're gonna have a hard time with that, but that's all right though.
I have
That's why we love you.
hardcore foot and mouth.
All right though. That's why we ultimately love you.
What are you thinking of Chainsaw before we wrap this bad boy up?
Like they actually cleaned up a lot of stuff that I thought was wrong with Chainsaw from the deluxe version, man. They actually like it was really kind of hard to tell like what his powers were, and like it just said that he had a 5d6 like attack. I remember in the old one, but no, he has a 3d6 attack. Like he can flat out hit you with his hand for 3d6, plus strength. But now with this chainsaw though, this chainsaw is going to add 2d6 plus 4 to his attack, and it's got an AP of 4. So this chainsaw is diamond tipped, and it's going to go ahead and cut through a lot of nasty stuff. And I want to say his focus ability or his focus skill, which is at a d6, I think that's probably what he's going to have to use to cast fear. It looks like people are going to, he's going to use that and see how well people do on the fear check. But his fear is strong, so they'll have to take a -2 to on their spirit roll.
Wait a second,
to
Mister.
try to recover.
Chainsaw damage. So he has a diamond bladed chainsaw. And this sucker does what? 2d6 plus 4, and then it says in brackets plus strength plus 3d6 for melee weapons. AP 4. Explain that math to me.
So he's essentially doing a 5d6 plus 4 roll when he hits with that chainsaw.
Plus strength, whatever that is.
Yeah. And plus strength. So yeah, that's a d12. So this is a d12 plus 5d6 plus 4 roll.
So tell me how this isn't Riffs?
Hey, well, this is Supers, man. Riffs is trying to meet their, Riffs is rising to their level, man. Supers has always been about heavy damage, man. And this guy, and also too, like it's kind of interesting too because I read there's a little blurb into like they have like this sort of default setting that's going on within the Superpowers companion. You can either choose to ignore it or run with it. I actually kind of like a lot of the the super villains, and so I could actually see like just using these, as people that you run into a necessary evil, or if you're running just a straight up supers game, just throwing them in there. But I'm kind of interested in seeing what exactly who all like made the cut from other from the other companions back in the days, and who they've like enhanced, and like who the sort of like default super setting that we got going on here. If they got kaiju and other stuff going on there, I'm all for it, man. I'll just grab what's ever in this book, and and if it's good enough stuff, man, I'll just run with this all together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm super excited to play some superheroes, to be honest with you.
Me too, man.
It's not my strong suit,
what would
so
you
somebody's going to need to run it for me, but I'll play in it all day long. Sign me up.
What would you play as?
Well, this is the thing. I want when we played in our last game, I played a guy with the ability to replicate himself, and that was fantastic.
I like that.
It was cool, man.
I hope
it was
they
neat.
still have that. I hope they still have that power.
Yeah,
that was pretty neat.
Make a duplicate of yourself. You just cut off your fingertip, and it turns into some new thing, and then you regenerate.
Yep. That's pretty dope.
Which was slick because that also gave me the ability to regenerate myself. So I had regeneration as a skill, and I could make duplicates of myself and send myself off and do things with me. And I put in enough points that if I died, then the other guy would become the main me. So you'd have to kill us both, which was it was awesome, dude. That was a sweet freaking skill.
You need to reskin that guy and put him in a new game that we do.
Well, I think if we play one in the next game, I'm going to play the guy from The Boys that had the giant penis that was like a tentacle.
Love Sausage?
Yeah. Down.
Yeah, I always want to play as like a stretchy person, man. I like it just for whatever reason, because I mean I think there's a lot of they don't like they end it like stretching people are the people who can stretch and manipulate their bodies and stuff like that. They don't get a fair shake because I mean I think that like if you can, there's a lot of potential with that too, man. That you could do a lot of stuff that people don't think about, and so that's what I would want to be like a character like that.
I just want to tap somebody on the shoulder with my giant penis, and then when they turn around, just kabam, knock them right out with it.
There you go.
That's my super skill. And then be able to like pick up pens and use wrenches and stuff like that too. Open doors. I probably
You want a prehensile pee-pee. That's what you want.
I probably just walk around with my hands behind my head all day and just use my junk to do everything. Excuse me. Doot, doot, doot. You know, swipe my Interact card with it, carry my groceries.
Right.
What else can you do with a giant wiener?
Hang out with your wife.
Nah, you wouldn't be married. If your dong was that big, your wife would be like, pound salt, mister. What do I look like?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly what I look like.
Dude, like she'd be like, I want to have sex. I don't want to give birth.
Right.
It's not what I'm down
stay
for.
Away from me.
Right. You would never get any. That's why, having a small wiener is she's got no excuse, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You don't have to worry about this hurting you or anything.
Right. This isn't gonna do no damage.
You'll probably forget that it's even in you after about 2 minutes.
Anything else you want to touch on in the Superpowers Companion before we shut this thing down?
Man, no, I'm excited about it. In fact, I'm just going to keep look out for the updates and see what's going on. Keep following this, and especially too, like it's word around the campfire that we'll probably get the PDFs here this month too, as soon as because I mean they're getting money directly. They're not. I mean, it's not anything that they're going to charge. I think I use PayPal, so I mean they already took the money out and everything.
Yeah.
So they're getting their money. So
it's
as soon as I think that as soon as it's over with, I think you're going to get your PDF. So it could be that in a couple weeks I should it'd be nice to get the PDF, and that'd be sweet too, because then I can start reading that and planning a big long Supers game, or a Necessary Evil game down the pike. Speculation on
Necessary Evil 3?
I think it's going to come. I think that they're going to do another. Yeah, it's going to. In fact, I've heard that Necessary Evil. It's going to be Necessary Evil 3, and it's going to be called Cosmic Crisis, where you actually go into space and you take it to the Visori out there in space, which I'm excited about too. And you're probably going to have to deal with a lot of other cool cosmic stuff.
Wow,
which that's my jam anyway. I always like all the space comic books when I was a kid, and I want to say that I think that the whole because I mean it's not like a super big setting, but all they have to do is like just release a new book or release a new because Breakout's essentially a PPC with some other stuff. All they got to do is release a little book like that with another one of these Kickstarters. Man, I'm sure it'll do quite well. I was kind of hoping that it would be bundled with this.
Yeah,
but maybe it'll come out as a stretch goal. I don't know, man. But I was hoping it would be bundled with this. So maybe later on we're going to see that new book.
I hope so. The first one that I read was fantastic. I'd really like to play that with the new SPC, with the new rules. That'd be cool to go back and because it's a great storyline and in the first Necessary Evil. If you haven't checked it out, or if you are interested in the Superpowers Necessary Evil stuff without having to read the book, again, go check out the Sound Booth stuff, man. There's some fantastic stories there. I've been listening to a lot of the Necessary Evil ones, which are cool, and a lot of the Last Parsec ones, which are also really good.
Yep.
Cool.
I think there's a handful of I think those would be the two ones that I'd want to listen to anyway, man. Necessary Evil and Last Parsec, because I mean those supers and sci-fi. That's you're speaking my language now.
Mm-hmm. My last Parsec game, surprisingly went off with little to no hitches. I shouldn't say that. You know what fucking happened? Oh, it's the one thing that drives me mental about TTS. When other websites go down, like this place, infinitebucket.com, went down, took down all the effects. So like the glowing blue lights, the fog and stuff like that. Fortunately, I have them all backed up on my hard drive, but then it's a matter of I got to load up all these maps and I got to fix them all by changing all the links to links that I have that work. And that's what I did all fucking day Saturday. I had like 8 different super cool sci-fi maps and shit like that. I should show you what they look like. You can check out pictures on my Twitter. If you're not on Twitter or Instagram, are you, Jay? You're not even on social media. You're not even real, are you? I'm talking to myself because Jay locked up. Call me back, Jay. I miss you already, bud.
You locked up.
Oh, there we go. All right, well, one of us locked up. I don't know who it was. Hopefully that recorded, because I was like serenading you a little bit there. Anyways.
No, I heard everything. It was awesome.
Man, what a pain in the ass. I got it all up and running. I spent all day Saturday last week fixing all of the things, and the game kind of went off without a hitch. I just wish I would have... Usually what I do is I do a refresher on Saturday, read the adventure, and make sure that I'm on point with everything. So the game kind of took a hit that way because I was too busy fixing stuff. Anyways, I just sound like a crying bitch. Let's get out of here. All right, we'll knock that down a few pegs there, and that's going to be it for this edition of the Murder Hobo Show. We hope you enjoyed it. Now get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. If you're interested in submitting to community questions so you could hear us poke fun at you and not answer your question honestly, you can do so at murderhoboshow@gmail.com. Otherwise, send your hate mail to .crimebitch.
I'm assuming that's me. Was that what you're getting at here, mister?
No, that just tickled the hell out of me. Crying bitch was funny.
Wow.
That's probably made me laugh. Just you saying crying bitch has made me laugh harder than just about anything that I think you can remember, because you sounded so defeated. You're like, oh, I sound like crying.
It hurt. Jay, it hurt. It hurt my heart, bud. It hurt my heart, man.
Yeah, I can believe it, dude. I can believe it.
Where are we at here? Did you read? You did. So you can get us on Twitter at The Murder Hobo Show, on YouTube at The Murder Hobo Show, where I show you how to make 3-dimensional battle maps for role-playing and Tabletop Simulator, and I cry like a baby. You can also watch me do this live on Twitch. Once again, I got to start doing this, is what it should say. One day I'll get around to doing this on Twitch, but it does say, be warned, there isn't a set time. It's pretty random.
Yep. You can find the things that we discussed in the show notes, organized by most recent at the top, over at murderhoboshow.podbean.com.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to tune in next time. We're going to have another superhero action-packed show where we don't talk about the things that we tell you that we're going to talk about, like Master Edition, ICRPG, or community questions or any of that shit.
That'll be next time.
It'll be next time. Hopefully by then we'll have something. It'll be out. The PDF will be out or something like that. We can take a good...
I want Viking Death Squad to come out so I can figure out what the fuck it is.
Yeah. I'll send you the PDF. I got one kicking around here. I'll send you a link to it so you can take a peek at it.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Where were we at here? I forgot my part here. So I'll just start over again. Thanks for listening. Be sure to tune in next time. We're going to have another action-packed show where we talk about things we know little to nothing about. I totally screwed that up. I'm going to start again, just to be irritating. Thanks for listening. Be sure to tune in next time where we're going to have another action-packed show where we talk about... Fuck it. Say goodbye, Jay.
Those folks.
I'm just going to quit. I quit. That's all there is to it. I'm just stopping. The Murder Hobo RPG Show is not affiliated with or endorsed by any companies mentioned on this show. Any of the products mentioned on our show or that appear on our website are the property and copyright of the respected owners. All items are used under fair use for educational and review purposes. All other items are the intellectual property of the Murder Hobo RPG Show, copyright 2021, all rights reserved.